Wow. Hey, here we go. What's good, everyone? I am the Seattle Black Veteran. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everyone's doing wonderful this evening, this Friday evening. Here we are, East Coast. What we call this South. We are Northwest. And so our weather here in the Northwest, we're doing all right here. Pretty heated up today. We're about at 80 something degrees here. I know it's not hot for the rest of y'all, but that's pretty warm for us over here. But anyway, hey, it's good to see each and every one of you. Everybody's doing great. I hope you're doing wonderful. Let me get closer to this microphone here. Hopefully, you can hear me and I am not too low here. All right, so look here. I wanted to get started with talking about, let me see here. It's supposed to be live. Get over here and get activated. All right. I wanted to see us talking about today. Okay, so I'm going to start it off with this one here. Okay. So we did the label of this was from my point of view, my perspective, and once again I live in a neighborhood where I guarantee you before this streaming is over, you will hear an ambulance or an A car going on in the background. Okay, all right. So here, check it out. I am the Seattle Black Veteran, or as my beautiful brother African Dreaming calls me, Seattle Black. I'll go with that. And my beautiful brother Bacon and SBD, the Seattle Black Veteran, I am here to help you. Hopefully, with what I've been going through, what I've been paying attention to, and what you may need to be paying attention to make sure that you are on point with getting all your benefits and you're aware of any kind of changes. This is even for people whose sons or daughters are thinking about joining the military. Some other things to look at. When I was a DI, drill instructor for the United States Army, one thing, and I would say this was true to myself as well, is a lot of the soldiers came in not really understanding what they wanted to do. They were happy with getting a job, looking forward to the training, not basic training, but as far as the training with their MOS was stating. I don't think nobody can afford the basic training. All right, but anyway, okay, so let me tell you this, okay? Now, you guys know how I rock when it comes to dealing with veterans who are out in the street, veterans who are panhandling. Um, I had a conversation earlier about this veterans who are panhandling, veterans who are out on the street. And okay, so this is my take on it. And I'm going to tell you because I was homeless. And when I was homeless, I didn't panhandle. I knew some people who did do that, and I think the people who did that at the time were not even in need of it, but they were out there doing it because they could, and it was easy money on a come up. Okay, now I ran across a veteran maybe a week ago. I was coming out of Fred Meyer's, which is a Kroger. For anybody else in the other part of the country, Fred Meyer's up here in the Northwest. Uh, so this young brother, he was asking, he said he was a veteran. Now, for me, I'm going to offer you information to get you hopefully where you need to go. Okay. Now, that's how I rock. I'm going to give you information. Let me give this forefront for the panel or for anybody who comes up on here. We deal with talking about the real and helping each other. We can agree to disagree. There'll be no disrespecting, no calling people out their names. None of that stuff on the channel here. If you do, I will have to kick you out of my room here, because we're about helping each other and getting what we need to get done. You know, and when I talk about that, as far as looking at your benefits as well. All right, let's get into this. Okay, so one thing I really want you guys to look at, and this is what I have been checking out here, and please forgive me when I turn a little bit here, but I want you guys to be aware of this here. All right, so this is an article that came out, and I want you guys to check this out. Okay, now I wrote it again, but I want you guys to check this out because this concerns you when we talk about the PACT Act. and it concerns you. This was done maybe 4 weeks ago, but here it is. Let's check it out.
And for veterans getting to this point where they can receive VA benefits after becoming sick from toxic exposure in war zones, this has been a very long and frustrating road. Nick Schifrin's back now with this story. It's produced by our Dan Segalin. It takes a deeper look at what's in this law and the heavy price that veterans and their families have paid.
In decades of war, American Marines and soldiers faced an enemy willing to kill.
That is what we live next to.
But the fog of war included actual smoke and toxic fumes that could be just as deadly.
Okay, 1 second here. I'm gonna back this up here real quick. I want to do this for the Fair Use Act, and also, you know what? Because when I think about this, I want you guys to think about this for civilians. One of my good friends, PJ, she asked me, she goes, what are they actually burning in there? And so I want to throw this up here. So when we get started with this, I don't have to deal with this here. So let's put this on pause. And we're going to put that on pause. I'm sorry, we're going to go on pause with that. We're going to go here. And this is my fair use, because I'm gonna back this video up. And I want you to check it out. And this is like, if you're not understanding, and please believe me, nobody's by themselves on this. There's some understandings I have to have with this as well. So here we go, fair use, okay? Now let's get this going here.
And for veterans getting to this point where they can receive VA benefits after becoming sick from toxic exposure in war zones, this has been a very long and frustrating road. Nick Schifrin's back now with this story.
Okay, before we get kicked off in, and I apologize, I want you to understand, if you know somebody or if you have maybe been in the particular situation, I want you to understand, VA is not going to try to, just automatically give you money. They're going to go through it, but stay strong and rock with it. Here we go. I'll let this roll through. Here he is.
It's produced by our Dan Segalin. It takes a deeper look at what's in this law and the heavy price that veterans and their families have paid.
Pay attention. Pay attention.
In decades of war, American Marines and soldiers faced an enemy willing to kill.
That is what we live next to.
But the fog of war included actual smoke and toxic fumes that could be just as deadly.
And as she burns every day, twice a day.
Many of the 3.5 million Americans who served in uniform since 9/11 breathed in fumes from the garbage that the military burned. Everything from plastic water bottles to styrofoam, batteries, paint cans, tires, even ammunition.
Now, I understand this. In the United States, you have burning codes. When you go to any kind of salvage yard or anything, there's a separation of things, and there's a regulation and limit on what you burn. But over there, overseas, there was not a regulation on what you burn. Burn it all to get rid of it. Here we go.
We have a burn pit down here. I want to get a good shot of it.
The toxic smoke filled the sky and bases where service members lived. It's believed to be one reason why veterans contracted higher rates of lung disease, cancer, and other serious illnesses, including Jennifer Howard's husband, 44-year-old Jason.
When they came back, they talked a bit about how everything was on fire. They burned everything.
Howard was the son of a soldier who became a Marine and deployed to Iraq in 2003 and 2004. He was always fit and healthy and loved to run marathons. But he took these photos of burn pits in Iraq. Jennifer blames that toxic smoke for his 2018 diagnosis of glioblastoma, an aggressive brain cancer that usually occurs in much older adults.
I have other types of pizza too.
She says the VA resisted providing benefits because there was no proof that he got sick because of his service.
Okay, now pay attention to that. They said there's no proof because he got of his service. And so this is what's going to be, I think it's going to be one of the roads to truck. If you got proof, if you've already been going to your VA or to your own particular doctor, and you've been having these particular issues, and we're going to get into this, and I want you guys, you soldiers and sailors, Marines, and Coast Guard, everybody, airmen, look here. If you're involved in part of that, start documenting that and start looking it up and start doing your research. I'm just dropping you some crumbs here so you can get there. Here we go.
I have filled out more forms and resubmitted the same form more times than I have time for. By the time I finally got it all back together and submitted again, his body was giving out from treatments.
We filmed this interview in April 2021. 3 weeks later, he died.
Okay, see, now this is what I'm talking about. Okay, shouts out to the first Magnum, Patty J. See you up in the house. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Giving you some love here. I do apologize for the loudness, but there we go. Thank you for showing up in here. I appreciate you. We're going to keep it rocking with this. This is the same thing, like myself and the first Magnum and a lot of you other veterans are probably dealing with, and that is doing the paperwork. Now, this brother here went through all that. I'm going to back this up just a little bit. Went through all that, and then
I have filled out more forms and resubmitted the same form more times than I have time for. By the time I finally got it all back together and submitted again, his body was giving out from treatments.
Yeah.
We filmed this interview in April 2021. 3 weeks later, he died. They had been married for 19 years.
Jennifer, thank you so much for doing.
Okay, this is why I say you got to pay attention and get on top of it. Even if you're retired, we'll talk about that as well. Retired and disabled veterans, veterans period. If you got out and you never filed, and you don't be having the gung-ho attitude as where, and we talked about this a long time ago when I first got started with this page, and that is, look, if you're not trying to take care of yourself when you get out of the military and you are suffering from a service-connected disability, what do you think you're putting your family through? All right. And so, like this younger man here, this Marine here, unfortunately passed away. But he was constantly fighting for what was rightfully his rights to have. So this person fought until they couldn't fight no more. And his wife is going to pick up the torch and keep it running. Here we go.
We spoke again about the new legislation.
I would hope now people can get the support and the services right away so that they can get the care that they need, get the support that they need, and enjoy the time that they have instead of spending it fighting.
There you go. I talk about that all the time. And that is, whether you're not 100% or not, if you're suffering from service-connected disabilities, you're going to have to continue to keep looking after yourself and taking care of yourself. Now, understand this. Just because your disability is not rated somewhere in this year here doesn't mean it will not show up in years to come. Okay, so we're looking at this for a long time, and this particular PACT Act is going to help out people who suffer from Agent Orange, people who suffer from any chemical injuries, and as you know now in certain posts, they're having it where their water is not good, and water is bad, so they're having to move their people to another place. We'll talk about that. But this is a point in time. Remember this. When you went into the Army or the military, period, you signed a contract with these guys, and you signed to do your job, and their job is to do theirs and take care of you. Now, if they violated the contract, you have to hold them accountable for this. And I mean this because, look, if something is to happen to me or to you as a veteran, retired, disabled, a veteran, period, you owe it to your family to make sure that they are taken care of as well. You hear me? You dig? So you got to do that here. If you need to, thank you. Shouts out to my girl, Mashawn Denise. Love you, mama. That's my sister there, for real. Always on point with what she does. Appreciate it. Let me get back up my screens here. I kicked myself totally out of the studio, so you guys got to bear with me for 1 second. But what I'm talking about here, and I talk about this a lot, is if you are a veteran, it is your requirement to get in there and fight for what is rightfully yours, okay? Now let me see here. Let me see. I think I did the burn pits here. Let's do this here. And shouts out to my brother John
And
Stewart.
for veterans getting to this point where they can receive VA benefits after becoming sick from toxic exposure in war zones, this has been a very long and frustrating road. Nick Schifrin's back now with this story. It was produced by
The 3.5 million breathed in fumes from the garbage that the military burned. Everything from plastic water bottles to styrofoam, batteries, paint cans, tires, even.
Now you see all that, and that's one person asked me, "Yeah, you lost. I lost it again. I'm so sorry. That's my fault. I think I have a mouse, and if I click one button, it shoots me back to the past. And here we go. I apologize, but yeah. So if you look at that, let's go back over this. And this is my friend Patty was asking me. Patty J was like, what are they actually burning out there? And I said, that's a good question. And like I say, in the United States, and we have burn. You have to have certain burn permits to burn certain stuff, and it has to be regulated. But here, when you're on the foreign soil, it's not going to get regulated. Here we go.
Burns every day, twice a day.
Many of the 3.5 million Americans who served in uniform since 9/11 breathed in fumes from the garbage that the military burned. Everything from plastic water bottles to styrofoam, batteries, paint cans, tires, even ammunition.
We have a burn pit down here. I want to get a good shot of it.
The toxic smoke filled the sky and bases where service members lived. It's believed to be one reason why veterans contracted higher rates of lung disease, cancer, and other serious illnesses, including Jennifer Howard's.
Okay, now I just played you guys. I'm going to bring it back again with this young Marine here. And like we say, look, I'm 58. I've been fighting for my disability rights still to this day. Just like the first Magnum I'm going through, I'm doing an appeal hearing coming up soon here, because we're going to have to knock that out, because you got to utilize every avenue as you can. But now dig this. This is what's so sad about it, because this is what's been happening for fellow active duty, retired, disabled veterans for years. And now check this out.
Husband, 44-year-old Jason.
When they came back, they talked a bit about how everything was on fire. They burned everything.
Howard was the son of a soldier who became a Marine and deployed to Iraq in 2003 and 2004. He was always fit and healthy and loved to run marathons. But he took these photos of burn pits in Iraq. Jennifer blames that toxic smoke for his 2018 diagnosis of glioblastoma, an aggressive brain cancer that usually occurs in much older adults.
And veterans, please, anybody, if you haven't even filed, if you have been a part of that, please make sure that you get in and start doing your research. Don't go to your doctors asking them for what is it that that states this and state that. Do your research and tell them that these are the symptoms that you are feeling. This is what's going on with you, and be real about that. Here we go.
I have other types of pizza too.
She says the VA resisted providing benefits because there was no proof that he got sick because of his service.
I have filled out more forms and resubmitted the same.
Now that's what we talk about all the time. Proof because of your service-connected disability. How did this happen? And I'm telling you, this is how these jokers play. When I went in, they were saying your neuropathy is because of your diabetes. I said, no, because I've been having neuropathy prior to my diabetes. And I had to have medical information to prove that, okay? So, so I understand that. I mean, like the first Magnum, struggle streaming, TLA. I mean, okay, so, but yeah. Okay, so look, and when you talk about proof, this is what we want you to focus in on, is what is your proof? What's going on with you? If you have proof of what's going on with you, please, please, please. I want you to hear this again with this young lady here. We're backing it up, but I want you to hear it. She's been fighting, and this is what
Smoke
they did.
for his 2018 diagnosis of glioblastoma, an aggressive brain cancer that usually occurs in much older adults.
Thanks for the light.
I have other types of pizza too.
She says the VA resisted providing benefits because there was no proof that he got sick because of his service.
Service
I
connected.
have filled out more forms and resubmitted the same form more times than I have time for. By the time I finally got it all back together and submitted again, his body was giving out from treatments.
Unfortunately.
We filmed this interview in April 2021. 3 weeks later, he died.
And that can happen. I'm telling you, it can happen to you. You got to stay on top.
Been married for 19 years.
Jennifer, thank you so much for doing this.
We spoke again about the new legislation.
I would hope now people can get the support and the services right away so that they can get the care that they need, get the support that they need, and enjoy the time that they have instead of spending it fighting.
The Promise to Address Comprehensive Toxics Act, or PACT Act, declares that veterans' asthma, cancers, and emphysema and other specified diseases shall be considered to have been incurred in or aggravated during active military service.
So that's good. Look and see during the time of your military service when you were actually experiencing some of these things here. Get a checkup. But like I say, do your homework first. And, definitely try to look up and see, what's going on with you. And are you experiencing these things? And look up. He just talked about the certain diseases. Look up and see, is that somewhat applying to you? Okay. So stay on top of that.
Notwithstanding that there is no record of evidence of such disease during the period of such service.
And here we have our own version of hell.
The legislation reverses decades of VA policy that forced veterans to prove toxic exposure directly caused their sickness.
I like that. They reversed that to prove. Okay, but understand though, even though they reversed it and said prove it, oh boy, they're going to still try to bring you through it just to prove it. You should know this. Here we go.
Something families found nearly impossible to verify.
Before Jason died, how much did you have to fight?
A lot for a long time. Time that I wish I could have spent just being with him and not fighting.
So this is what I say, and this is why I want you, military personnel, people who know military personnel, keep them strong and keep them at fighting. You have to go through all this. This young man passed away because of his service connected and didn't get to experience none of the lifetime that he deserves and deserved with his family, his loved ones. So, this is why, I say, this is why I keep iterating. I'm here because I don't have all the answers, but I will do my darndest to get you focused on something that you might or need to be paying more attention to, or that you're not paying attention to. Because I want to just give you that little spark so it can keep you going and ignites a fire within you to go and keep fighting to get what you need to get done. Because believe me, I know it pisses you off, and it's very disappointing when somebody keeps denying you and you're ill. I'm not lying to you, fix me. You broke me, fix me, and this is what we have to go through. But I'm going to keep you focused. Here we go.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
What are you thinking?
I just miss him. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And that's not cool. I can understand her pain. So this is what I say: fight. 58. I'm older than you, and I've been going through this for over 35 years. Probably since '87. So here we go.
The primary victory in getting this bill passed, it takes the burden off the veteran of proving that they have a deployment-related disorder.
Dr. Robert Miller is a professor of medicine at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. In 2004, he started seeing soldiers with serious breathing difficulties. After lung biopsies, Miller discovered they had constrictive bronchiolitis, a rare lung disease where small airways are destroyed and is difficult to detect.
Having the biopsy is a matter of peace of mind. That now I know why I'm short of breath.
He attended events on Capitol Hill and met with congressional staffers, veteran activist and comedian Jon Stewart to lobby Congress to change the law so veterans could receive the benefit of the doubt.
The DOD and VA actually actively worked against deployers in many cases, and as a result of this bill, there are 23 new conditions that are now considered presumptively.
See, that it says 23 new conditions that are now being considered. And this is why, and I'm going to back this up just a little bit because I want you to pay attention to what he said about getting this particular diagnosis done. If you need that particular diagnosis and you have been maybe experiencing that, you might want to talk to your primary care doctor about getting that done. Let's wrap it. Let's hear him go here.
Discovered they had constrictive bronchiolitis, a rare lung disease where small airways are destroyed and is difficult to detect.
Difficult to detect. So if you didn't get
biopsy is a matter of peace of mind.
Biopsy.
That now I know why I'm short of breath.
He attended events on Capitol Hill and met with congressional staffers, veteran activist and comedian Jon Stewart to lobby Congress to change the law so veterans could receive the benefit of the doubt.
All right, see, that's what he's saying. So veterans can receive the benefit of the doubt. So basically, it did some more political jujitsu with the VA so they can help get you looked after without shoving you to the side. Now, I say this is important because when I suffered from neuropathy back in '87, they were telling me it did not exist. You know, we don't know what you're talking about. We can't see it. And that's because, ladies and gentlemen, is that your doctors are on a certain philosophy with certain philosophers that prove what they say. So, example, for a while they say, I can't see it. X-rays don't see it. So it's not happening to you. And then they find out later on, oh, in '92, they tell me, we apologize. This has been happening to you. And so you get a back pay for that. But what I want you to do is stay strong with fighting for you. Here we go.
The DOD and VA actually actively worked against employers in many cases. And as a result of this bill, there are 23 new conditions that are now considered presumptively.
And do your homework, boys and girls. 23 new conditions that are now being considered. Okay? So if you have been in those particular wars or you've been around those particular burn pits, understand now they are looking more closely at that, and they are considering 23 more conditions that you may be eligible for. So the thing is, and this is why we keep talking, and this is why I always talk to you about, keep going to your doctors, keep talking about what's going on with you. Be more in tune to what's going on with you. Understand the side effects for some of the stuff that's going on with you so you can fight through that. Okay, here we go. But I want you to do that because you got to stay strong. You know, I always say I fight for you because I want you to do what's good for you. Here we go.
Related to deployment.
The new law also covers veterans exposed to oil well fires in Iraq during Operation Desert Storm in the early 1990s, Agent Orange in Vietnam, and crash sites of nuclear-armed B-52 bombers in Greenland, Spain, and the Marshall Islands in the 60s and 70s. And
now understand this. You hear him talking about all these ones. I'm gonna back it up a little bit because I want you guys to get control of all that. Is that they're now talking about some posts that are having difficulty with water. The water's being contaminated, whatever, and they're having to bring it in. So you got to pay attention to this, ladies and gentlemen, because it's not that, look, when you made a contract with the government, you made a contract to fight and defend this country for whatever job that you did. And they made a promise to take care of you while you're there. So if you're experiencing this, like this gentleman who just passed away, we want to fight hard so these things will not happen to you or I. Okay, here we go.
23 new conditions that are now considered presumptively related to deployment.
The new law also covers veterans exposed to oil well fires in Iraq during Operation Desert Storm in the early 1990s, Agent Orange in Vietnam, and crash sites of nuclear-armed B-52 bombers in Greenland, Spain, and the Marshall.
Now, see, that's what I didn't know. The crash sites that were in Greenland that were nuclear, but I knew about the Agent Orange back in the day, but it's good that they're getting all these under one umbrella here and getting them taken care of. Here we go.
Islands in the 60s and 70s. And the new legislation expands the time that veterans can take to enroll in VA healthcare from 5 to 10 years after they've discharged.
Now that's good. 5 to 10 years after you're discharged, and if you start experiencing some of these things, you can still go in and get these things taken care of. Let's go. I'm gonna wrap you about this.
Looking for recognition of what's going on.
Cynthia Amon is one of the veterans who worked to convince Congress. The NewsHour first met her in 2015.
Respect.
Her Missouri National Guard police company deployed to Kuwait and Iraq in 2003.
Here it comes.
She and others lived through massive sandstorms and toxic pollution. When she got back, she struggled to breathe. But she says at first, the VA told her the problem was in her mind.
See what I'm saying? The VA. And you better watch your back with these jokers. And this is why I say when you go and approach them, you got to approach them with a strategy is this. First, look up and look at your conditions. see what's going on with those conditions. Get up in here and chop it up with the Seattle Black veteran, and start talking and start asking these questions amongst us so we can all get on the same board. I think Reggie was in here a while back ago, and he was experiencing that 90% and had to deal with that as well. And now that he's going through this, we want him to, because when you get somebody tell you that, oh, you don't qualify for this and you're not this and that, it hurts you when you know that it's not just in your freaking mind, it's what's going on with you. They want to tell you that. Here we go. Yeah, that's why this is what this is about sometimes.
Iraq during Operation Desert Storm in the early 1990s, Agent Orange in Vietnam, and crash sites of nuclear-armed B-52 bombers in Greenland, Spain, and the Marshall Islands in the 60s and 70s. Wow. And the new legislation expands the time that veterans can take to enroll in VA healthcare from 5 to 10 years after they've discharged.
They're looking for recognition of what's going on.
Cynthia Amon is one of the veterans who worked to convince Congress. The NewsHour first met her in 2015. Her Missouri National Guard police company deployed to Kuwait and Iraq in 2003.
Here it comes.
She and others lived through massive sandstorms and toxic pollution. When she got back, she struggled to breathe. But she says at first, the VA told her the problem was in her mind.
When I first started going to the VA and explaining my symptoms, automatically they were telling me it was anxiety, I was just hyperventilating. They tried to put me on antipsychotic medications, like different, mood stabilizers and things of that nature. And I was telling them, no, my shortness of breath, it's something physical. I know it is. I can't explain how excited I am and happy I am that we finally got to this point.
So this is what I'm saying. This is why I need you guys to keep fighting out there and keep informing people. Look, this is not just about the veterans and the retired or the military, period. You got people who are civilians, your family, all right, your kids. So, when we're fighting for these things to get taken care of, look, I tell people this, and I want you guys to understand this. Look, I'm an old cat, I'm 58. And I tell people getting older is not for the feeble-minded or the weak-hearted. You got to be in it because so you wake up and you're in pain, you got this and you got that going on with you. And if you mess around and get hurt and you're 30, 40 years old and you don't have medical coverage or medication coverage, it can cost you, and these things. And that's why I say I want you guys to stay on top of this. But let's rock this out. And I got some more stuff. We're going to get into this. My time is your time. We're going to chop it up and do it tonight. I miss you guys. So, we got to get this in here. And I appreciate each and every one of you who are here. And I want to actually, let me do this real quick because I'm slipping on my dipping because I messed around and reset my whole live stream. So it kind of pissed me off, but I apologize for that. But I want to give you guys props and tell you, hey, I appreciate each and every one of you for rocking with the Seattle Black veteran. We do what we can do here. And that is, like I say, we're going to take care of each and every one of us. So let me see. I got to turn this down because I know it's going to jump right off into my ear. But this is for you guys here. I appreciate you. Thank you for your love and your support. I got nothing but love for you. Appreciate you. Thank you very much, person. I'm glad to be back with you, my brother. And for anybody who did not know, when I was rocking the music before I got started, that is from the first
legislation was making its way.
That is from him. If you are interested in getting some nice sounds, I would suggest you talk to that brother here. All right, first mag's up in here. It's everyone here. I appreciate you. Just say hi and say who you are up in here. I'm gonna open up this chat here, start running my mouth so I can get you guys come up, and we're gonna chop it up tonight because I miss you guys. Here we go.
To Kuwait and Iraq in 2003.
Here it comes.
She and others lived through massive sandstorms and toxic pollution.
Having a lung biopsy, it just is what it is for a change.
Lung biopsy.
How are you doing today?
Not super well. Sorry, I just had some tests, and I've had some decline. It's hard for me to breathe. It's hard for me to do things, but I just do them anyway. I'm just gonna keep fighting. I have beautiful children to fight for. I have a wonderful fiance. I have a wonderful life. Life has given me so many amazing things, so just keep fighting.
Right on.
Other veterans' fights also continue despite the bill.
Everything I've read so far is going to have no impact for me at all.
James Raines had a 25-year career in the Army and Army Reserves. He was diagnosed with constrictive bronchiolitis, and the VA acknowledged that his service caused his illness.
But what they doing? What are they doing about it?
But he took a pulmonary function test like this, even though it couldn't detect his injury. And when he scored well, the VA denied him disability compensation. The PACT Act does not fix that.
The issue comes in is whenever you start exercising yourself, or when you.
And this is why I want you guys to, to pay attention to that, and I want you to get into it and do your homework before you approach your primary care doctors, unless you guys are really tight, and you can approach them, and talk to them about your situation. But I would say, for me, and I didn't do this, and this is why I'm trying to get you guys, everybody else to be on board with this. I didn't do this, and what I did not do was I did not do my homework. And I went in talking to my doctors thinking that they're out for me. Look here, and I hate to say this, but this is how it is. The VA hospital is like dealing with the police. Shut your mouth. Don't say nothing unless you are told to say something. But outside of that, don't say nothing. No, be quiet, because you can actually put yourself in harm's way. All right, I don't know what I did with the video, but here it is. We're going to just finish what this brother said. And this is true talk, is that you can be in there and thinking that you have something, and the VA is going to tell you, no, homie, you ain't getting that. So forget about it.
Get under physical stress or aerobic stress. That's when the constrictive bronchiolitis kicks in. And that's when you have the limitations. So right now, as far as I know, the VA has no method for actually determining the level of injury.
Veterans Affairs Secretary Dennis McDonough acknowledged the problem.
I know this is a great frustration for veterans going back generations. My guess is we don't always get that precisely correct.
After decades of fighting, the new law helps veterans win a battle. But for many, the war goes on, and many have been lost along the way. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Nick.
All right, respect for that report. And this is why I try to convey to everybody. Now, look, when we started off talking about this gentleman here, we started talking about the PACT Act. And the PACT Act leads into how the system is treating us. So this is why I want you to pay attention to that and be on top of your game with that, because now there's some new stuff coming up here. The Accelerated Toxic Exposure Claims urges veterans to apply now. All right, so this is what's come across, and look at it. And I want you to go to military.com, and I want you to look this up, okay? Because right now we can rap about this here. Veterans, let me do a quick one here. We're gonna have a little commercial here. Hang on. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, just listen to this with me. Okay, now as we go along, this is what I want you to pay attention to, and I'm going to point these things out, is veterans who qualify. The first thing they started off, if you look at this, veterans who qualify, okay? Let me see if I can blow this up just a tad bit. All right. Okay, so veterans who qualify for this compensation. So this is what we have to look at, okay? As he started off, what do you qualify about? Here we go. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Process of claims. Okay. Huh. Hold on. Let's stop here. Okay, now, I got caught here. You guys hang with me, and you guys let me know what's up. The law has called the phase of condition of many eligible veterans over the next several years. Instead, okay, the VA will start processing claims for all beginning on January 1st. Okay, so this first of this year, I'm taking it is the first of this year. Okay, so now they're going to start processing these over the first of the year. Now I want you guys to dig this. The VA said this a minute ago, that they were trying to cut all claims down to a month, flipping them over within a month that you get your claims back. So now that this has happened here, it's going to probably take a little longer, but then dig this. And I want you guys to pay attention to this and don't just stay focused on the money. Stay focused on the benefits that you need to have. Hey, salute. Hey, I got you down there. I see you there, Rudy. I see you, brother. Always good to see you, man. Thank you for stopping in here. Salute to you. Okay, so when we're talking about this here, okay, we're talking about, okay, now Dave, we're talking about your health. You're going to need that, and that's number one. Okay, because you will get your back pay if you have started claiming this stuff prior. Now, dig this. I just said this a minute ago concerning my own health, is that they didn't, from 87 to 92, they didn't believe me until 92. Then I got the back pay. And that back pay was a nice grip, all right? But you will get that back pay, but I want you focusing on where you get in your health, all right? And if you are not over 50%, I need you over 50% minimum, okay? If you're not there, try to get there, because what it is, at 50, you will get your medical paid for, your and you already get your medications, but you're going to get everything pretty much taken care of. But like I say, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, when you rap to the VA, you like talking to the police, okay? They are typing everything down. You go to the doctor, do you see him doing this and that? Yeah, he is, him or her. And it's no disrespect, but that's how the game rolls. Okay, so I want you guys to be ahead of this. Let's get back onto this here. I want you to finish hearing this video here. Respect. Thank you for everybody being here. Okay. I want to stop there. Okay. Oh, whoa. Back it up. Hold up. I got ahead. Hold up. I want to hear this. Check this out. 23. Okay. Okay, now dig. Okay. So let's go down here. I want to find out where he says this. We're talking about 23 more illnesses. Here we go. The law added 23 conditions to the list of presumptive illnesses considering related to burn pits. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Okay, look, start looking at what those 23 conditions are. I'm not going to go over it all tonight. It's too long. We got other stuff to cover, but I want you to look at that. And this is what I wrap to you guys. Look, this is about taking care of you, your health, your family, and everything that you deserve. So pick it. Okay, he said 23 additional conditions. 23 more. African Dream is in the house. Salute to you, my brother. Good man. Was over there checking out him and his wife today and love their channel. This brother is a bad man because he did a stream for almost 6 hours and he got up rocking with me. Bless you, my brother. Bless you. Always good to see you. Same as you as well, Rodney. Love you, brothers. All right. Okay, so here we go. 23 more presumptive conditions. Okay, related, including certain types of cancers and respiratory illnesses. All right. But they were to be phased in over the next 3 years. Now, how are we phasing this in over the next 3 years? What's more important? How they categorize this? What are they doing to say whose priority to get what? But dig, this is what I'm talking about. Now dig, there ain't nothing changed but the date and everything else. Okay, but the thing with the VA, they're telling you. Now, we started off, I'm going to come right back down here. We started off at the top of this thing. It says, veterans who qualify for the disability compensation under the recent signed landmark Toxic Exposure Act should begin filing their claims. Now, when we said the first thing was veterans who qualify. It was another ass whooping. Okay, now you got to go down here. And it tells you 23 more conditions will be added. A presumptive illness is considered related burn pits, including certain types of cancer and respiratory illnesses. And it will begin phasing them in over the next 3 years. All right. So this means you got to get on your JOB, my peoples. Okay. Love you, but you got to get on your job. You got to handle your business out here, and that is, we're not just talking about with the burn pit stuff. We're talking about if you have any service-related injuries or disabilities, you got to keep fighting. Look at here; these cats has been fighting since Vietnam, right? Right, and here we go. Okay, here we go. Let's bump this. Let me keep this going because we have some more information I really need you to hear. And this is not just related to the burn pits. This is how the system rocks with the veterans. Okay, I'm telling you, it is not an easy thing to roll with. But here we go. Let's see. Oh, good. Oh, good Lord. All right, let's stop that there because it got me a correction here. It said what elders and survivors have priority and eligible to file immediately. Okay, those who are terminally ill, terminally. So we talked about what who's going first, terminally, elderly, and our survivors who have priorities and are eligible to file immediately. Now, dig this too. The law also adds high blood pressure to the list of illnesses, presumptions of Agent Orange to Agent Orange. So we're going all the way back, dogs, before you and I were born. All right. But this is a good thing because they've been fighting for years. So it's going to be interesting. It's really going to be interesting about see, how they're going to compensate these guys here. And that's one thing I would say this, and I need you to understand this. Compensation is cool, but money they give you, the VA, does not pay you for pain and suffering. No, it doesn't. The only thing you're going to get for pain and suffering is probably a lifetime of medications and medical help through the VA that will take care of you for the rest of your life. So I don't know. You guys, we can battle with that. Here we go. Finish this up here. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Whoa. Whoa. Thank you. Yep. You should be. Whoa. Wow. Okay. So we talked about, and I just asked that same question, right? I was like, well, how long is it going to take them to process this? What is going on here? And as you can see, what it says, more than 623,000 claims are pending at the VA as of August the 27th, with the 154 categorized as backlog. Okay. So they're trying, but like I say, as you push it through, it's going to take probably a little longer. But and it sucks because when you need to know, are you getting your money? Are you getting your benefits? You need to know that now. Here we go. That's right. I appreciate you guys for being here. Mm-hmm. Mm. Wow. Uh-huh. Mm. Ooh. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. There you go. Whoa. Oh. Right on. All right. Okay, we're going to wrap it up for the burn pits, but I want you guys to be on top of that, okay? This also leads me into another topic that I had to wrap with you guys about. And it was actually brought up on another channel. And I want to say this real quick while I got you here. Your computer readings are... let's see, your computer reads it out loud. Oh, I can't hear it. Oh, my bad. Okay, you got to tell me that. I have to turn it down over on this end. I'm glad you told me that. Well, you guys should come in early. I'm messing up. All right, well, I got you guys here. I want to say this to you. Thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for being out here. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with me. And so we're going to be here as long as it takes to get these things addressed and everything. But I really appreciate each and every one of you for being out here hanging out with the Seattle Black Veteran. And as my brother, the African Dreamer says, Seattle Black, I'll take that. Call me anything, but don't call me after 11 unless it's a booty call. I'm clowning. All right, now I got to hit you with this one here. Now, this one's interesting. Let me see here. Hopefully, did I dig it back up? Oh, yeah, no, I got to get this back up here. And this one here, because we were talking about that as far as when we discussed these young men out here today and these young women, you know, as far as, let me see, let me get my thing back over here. I'm going to get this squared away. I do apologize, guys. The thing is, we got to get squared away is we're talking about, okay, so this burn stuff. I was talking with a person, let me see here, recently, and we were talking about the fact that they are going to start, the number of disabled veterans will be cut down. There will not be a lot of disabled veterans floating around the community. And so the question was pretty much, you know, is why is that? You know, what's going on with that? And I would tell you from my perspective is this, okay, and that is a lot of our kids today are not trying to feel that. But let's get you back into the real here. I'm gonna give it to you from these. I told you during my live stream. Did you hear the fire truck? Yeah.
U.S. military is facing a.
Didn't I tell you, Patty? I said every time I do a live stream, you're going to hear somebody, and I don't have to tell you they're coming for me, but I don't want to tell you that. Okay, so peek this. Okay, so I wanted to give you the 411. When I was a drill instructor in the military, I got out right when they started giving these so-called timeout cards, and I don't know if anybody heard of those. And that is if a soldier decides that the time is too stressful for them, that they need a timeout, and they need a card to put up and gives you a break. Whoa, you know, really? Okay, but let me give you this perspective too, and I want you guys to check out this here. This is another thing from one of the news channels, fair use for this one here, and this is just to get you educated on what's really going on. Here we go. So check this out.
Recruiting shortfall. A shortfall so large that legislators are getting concerned.
The Army has to recognize.
The U.S. military is facing a growing recruiting shortfall. A shortfall so large that legislators are getting concerned.
The Army has to recognize that there's been an evolution in that young population, and if you're going to target that young population for service, you've got to make it appealing to them.
Now check this out. I want you guys to hear. Hey, Grandma Girl, welcome, sweetheart. Welcome. Good to have you aboard. Real quick, let me give you some love. Appreciate you being here with the crew tonight. We hanging here for a while and just chopping it up about some veteran things. Okay, but I want you guys to dig this. I want you to listen to why they are having recruiting problems. Check this out.
The pool of potential recruits has been dropping for years.
So the three biggest reasons for a small pool of eligible recruits are criminal backgrounds, healthcare and obesity specifically, and financial issues.
Okay, you dig that? Well, those are four things. Criminal background, obesity. What was the other one? Financial issues. I forgot the fourth one. We're going to go back. Somebody tell me what that fourth one is. Yeah, because no, that's crazy. Okay, so was it financial, health, criminal, and
eligible recruits are criminal backgrounds, healthcare and obesity specifically, and financial issues.
Healthcare, obesity. That's why I got messed up with that, because I was thinking obesity was going in with healthcare, but a criminal background, healthcare, obesity, and what was the other one? Come on, guys. I know I'm slipping. Y'all remember? Okay, financial. So. And believe me, now people understand why this financial may be an issue. When I was going for the police department, when I worked for the Department of Defense, and then even when I went to work for the corrections for King County, If you didn't know, way back in the day, and it was called, I think it was the Rampart, Los Angeles Rampart Division. These guys were policemen, worse than the mafia, worse than everybody else, because they were out there taking money, drugs, and everything. And come to find out, a lot of the officers had financial issues. Okay. So now this is the issue. When you come in with financial issues, even if you're not applying for any law enforcement background, law enforcement, you are going to get asked that question, because some people will go in and because they're struggling financially, they will do some less than healthy things for their career. All right, but here we go. Now pay attention to this, and this is my thing too. And I was adding to this. You guys tell me what you think, and I'm gonna bring you up here in a second here because I really want to know what you think. And I'm actually a few topics here, but when it comes to recruiting, the U.S. Navy now are starting to offer up to 6 digits to get into there, but there is some stipulations, and you have to check that out. The Army is ramping theirs up to 50 G's, if not more. I think it's not over 100, but I think it's 50 or 60 G's, just for you to come in and sign up. They were doing this way back in the day. Okay, yes, financial issues are the number one indicator of crime. This is true. Money. It's like, where there's fire, there's smoke. Okay, real good pointed out. I gotta put you brothers and sisters up here. I apologize. And let me do this. I'm going to say this to all of you guys here. I've been slipping on this here. And Rodney, man, it's good to see you, brother. Keep rocking with us, man. So this is the thing, too, that I think, too. It's only me, guys, so I don't want to get nobody else in trouble with this. And I think it is because some of our young people are feeling so entitled that they don't have to work that hard to get no bag, no money. They can come on and be a YouTuber, and start getting money from there and sitting on their butt talking whatever, And so I think some are ruling to that place too. Now, I got to show you guys this, but let me rock this and we'll finish rocking this here.
The Army and the other military services this year are facing what they're describing as the most challenging recruiting environment since the all-volunteer force era began in 1973.
The latest figures show that only about 23% of young men and women in the United States meet the criteria to join, whether that's physical fitness, health, criminal background check.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are obviously very concerned about the military's recruitment efforts because this is coming at a time where Russia's war in Ukraine is changing global order, as well as China saber rattling with Taiwan and in the South China Sea.
Yeah, and so another thing that I was thinking too, you guys help me with this one as well, is okay, and we're talking about they're changing because to recruit, they got a SpaceX now. And the SpaceX is saying they want to start letting their people grow beards back. And so we are shifting as a military. How we're shifting is an interesting question. Okay, so when getting all these kids, now they're looking at technology, whereas it's limiting some combat soldiers from being out in the field and getting injured, where they're coming back and getting a disability. That's going to be a happy thing, I think, for the VA to a certain extent. But I would say this too: I want everybody to roll with caution, because if they're going to start sitting on their hands, right now, I think for them having enough to process, they can keep their minds focused on taking care of us than trying to take away from us. You dig what I'm saying? Don't be trying to take my benefits because you ain't got nothing better to do. Go get a life. Here we go. Here we go. Wow. All right, I think we got there. Oh no, we got a little bit to go here. Those take you back
when
in the day.
Unemployment is low, the military struggles to get recruits. And with unemployment hovering around 3.5%, it can be tough to convince young people to sign up. The fiscal year for the U.S. Army ends in September, and the Army has only reached 50% of its recruiting goal for the year as of mid-July. The U.S. military needs a lot of people. The U.S. Army alone must get tens of thousands to sign up every year to replace those who leave the service.
Yeah, and see, this is interesting. Because even if you look at the commercials now, a lot of the commercials are turning into technical. more technical stuff. And I don't know how many more people they will be needing on foot since the robotic stuff is coming up. But I don't think, they got some things they're using in the military. But yeah, this is going to be interesting, because especially what's going on in the world today. Here we go.
The Army had a goal of signing up 60,000 people this year, but according to the Secretary of the Army, they could end up close to 15,000 short of that goal.
Each sister service branch is going to also have to think about their retention tactics, whether it's offering enlistment bonuses or other incentives to keep people in our current military force.
One tool the military has in times like these are big cash bonuses. These bonuses usually apply to certain understaffed jobs and also have stipulations such as finishing training to be fully paid out.
Yeah, so you're saying finish training before fully paid out. And if you ever go into any of these contracts here, this is why I say the channel is not just for us disabled veterans or whatever. You probably have some kids, or know some kids who are thinking about going in the military. And if you're going to go in the military and that's what you plan to do, yeah, maximize your bonus, but know the stipulations of your contract as well. Here we go.
The Army is offering $40,000 for Special Forces candidates, and the Navy is offering bonuses that can range up to over $100,000 for eligible veterans to
$100,000 for eligible veterans. So I talked about this before, and I said, get into six figures. And they're asking that for people if they want to come back into service if they already served. But if you are E5, E6, or E7, they want you to come back in as E4. Yeah, go check that out. Yeah, but then you're going into a more technical field. They want you either into nuclear or, are you acing some drone technology or something? But yeah, the stipulations on that. So you have to look into that. Here we go.
sign up. Keeping troops in who are looking to exit the service is another way to bolster numbers. The Marines have recently had some success in convincing people to stay in. A major hang-up to recruiting more new soldiers are the fitness and academic requirements.
See that? Fitness and academic requirements. Ain't that about a whooping? Where have we gone in this United States? You dig what I'm saying? Is that we are not physical fit to run a mile without almost dropping to our knees and crying. That's really interesting. Physically fit. Really? That's what's holding us back from, doing what we need to do. But another thing I want you to look at too is that they are changing the weight index that is coming in, that has been into the military system. And it's not going to totally go on certain sizes or certain limbs. You got to look into it. I'll bring it up next time we're here. I just thought about that, but here we go.
Some services are struggling more than the others. The Army is certainly struggling the most. They're also the biggest, so that would just make sense. They're revisiting some of the fitness standards and some of the academic standards right now to try and scramble for the end of this fiscal year.
If you're going to be a cyber technician, do you really need to be able to lift X number of pounds and run 5 miles?
Do you need to really live? Okay, so look here, dig this. From my understanding, even when I was a DI, when you came into the military, we taught you what we call basic training. Because back in the day, you might have to get from behind that computer desk and pick up a weapon and go to war. So their philosophy was training everybody so you can be ready for that particular incident, hand-to-hand combat. If you got to go out there and shoot, if you got to sit there and live off of MREs for over 6 weeks, how do you do it? And so this is the thing. This is where we come to now. Is that what? Come on, seriously. Look, you don't have to be in any kind of physical shape. You can have your big old fluffy beard. Your clothes can look like, you just pull them out of your hamper. And you're supposed to serve. How do you have any kind of respect without discipline? I don't get it. So here we go.
I think over time we're going to have to target the expectations of our service members based on the kinds of jobs they're doing.
I mean, I can dig it. I can dig it, but like I said, you go to basic training, and then after basic training, you go learn your MOS, your job. You go learn what your job is, and you get trained in that. And then it's every quarter that you will have to go to a PT test to prove that you are physically fit to be there. Oh, because look, I don't care what branch you are in. If you're not getting up doing your PT or running, man, what the hell? Come on. Oh, here we go. All right. Okay, so now I would say, that's just pisses me off. But it is what it is. Okay, so but all right, here we go. In the Army, yes, you're going to suffer the most because you're more physically demanding because you're more out front on the battlefield than most any other people are. Yeah, we do get the Marines out there coming off of a Navy ship. But yeah, we're out there as well. But here we go.
Recruiting environment since the all-volunteer force era began in 1973.
The latest figures show that only about 23% of young men and women in the United States meet the criteria to join, whether that's physical fitness, health, criminal background check.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are obviously very concerned about the military's recruitment efforts because this is coming at a time where Russia's war in Ukraine is changing global order, as well as China.
Okay, so now check it real quick. Now, I talked about this in another video that I did. If you're planning to go to the military, to start considering what you want to do prior to you signing or enlisting into the military. And I say this because I didn't do that. Okay, so if you're getting in, and I got in and I ended up becoming an infantryman. I was a Stinger gunner for a while, then I was an infantryman, and I went to a DI slot. Okay, so when you get out of the military as an infantryman, you're really going to have to start looking. You can get into a lot of spots because you are being taught leadership. Okay, leadership is the basics of things. But what I'm looking at, when we look at these videos here, okay, and you're going to the military and they're talking about having problems getting people in there, I want you to start being more focused and more driven, because when you're focused and driven, you will show leadership, and that's the people that they want leading their military men and women. All right, here we go.
Saber rattling with Taiwan and in the South China Sea.
And we're having that right now. Russia acting a fool. And then China's going to be on board with Russia, I believe.
When unemployment is low, the military struggles to get recruits. And with unemployment hovering around 3.5%, it can be tough to convince young people to sign up. The fiscal year for the U.S. Army ends in September, and the Army has only reached 50% of its recruiting goal for the year as of mid-July.
Service members.
Let's get past here. Here we go.
Over abortion rights could also become a factor.
Oh boy, yeah.
Have more bones to pick with the military and the kind of life that they're going to have to live there.
There's this perception about the military is going woke, and there are all these cultural wars inside the military. But to be honest with you, I'm not sure how much of that actually trickles down to that young 18-year-old recruit from Middle America who's trying to decide what he or she wants to do to improve themselves and their future.
The state-by-state fight over abortion rights could also become a factor. Military personnel stationed in one state could have access to abortion rights while others may not.
There's a potential that you'll have some folks who are hesitant to join because they don't know if they're going to get sent somewhere where they don't have access to health care that they believe is a human right.
Okay, now pick this. I want you guys to be cognizant of this, because what I'm thinking about, what they're talking about, is the Roe versus Wade thing. Okay, now dig. This is going to affect the housing market as well as the military. This is going to shake it's shaking a lot of ground. And the reason why I say that is, let me see, what's my baby girl I got to say there? I tried to find my job after I tested for the steel tools with position to put me in. Yeah, exactly. Right now, with their desperate thing of looking for people, they are going to try to clam me in a slot, and that's why I try to tell people. And you did right, Grandma Grove. Yeah, and this, they will still try to play you like this. Okay, what I was trying to say with you is that this is going to shake not only how it's going to shake the military. Like you say, you can ask where you're going to be stationed at, ask where your basic training is going to be, and you may have better options to do it now. Okay, but let's get back to this. Why I say it's going to shake the housing market. For some people who, and I was talking to my friend Patty J about this earlier, is that if you were working in a tech job and you didn't have to work from the office when the pandemic was out, and you got to work from home, All right, so now you say, well, geez, you know what? I'm working from home, but I'm stacking at six figures. I'm gonna go buy a house over here. But now, if you bought a house in Texas and say Texas is not with the rural versus way, you don't have that option there. So after that passed, some people are moving out of Texas because of that. On top of the fact that, uh, on top of the fact that even if that, if you are, let's say, just living in that spot and it changes, and then some jobs now up here in Washington, Microsoft, and all these other tech companies are telling these people, you come back to work or you don't have a job. So they might have to move back out of some of these countries, out of these cities or states, I'm saying, pardon me. Okay, same with me. Magnum saying the same with me. I scored high on my ASVAB tech and they still said I couldn't go to the field I wanted. Yeah, and so it might be a thing now, and this is we're gonna have to play these guys like a car salesman. This is how they're gonna be acting. When I was a DI, some people got past these cats. They got past the med station. I had a young man whose heart exploded in his chest on a PT unit, right? And so the thing is now we're gonna have to step to these guys with, okay, well look here, I'm gonna take this. Oh, you don't have that? Okay, well I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna go talk to another recruiter and see if he can get me there. Because right now, since they're falling off on numbers, they're going to be trying to do everything they can to get you in here. And exactly right for Grandma Rose and the First Magnum, you are so right. They are still going to try to push you to where they are going to say, well, they're going to come and say, you know, you guys are getting out people who are in this particular computer job, but we need people who need to be out here in the dirt, in the ground. And so they're going to try to push that and push that, but then tell anybody you know, do a pre-ASVAB score test and ask for the ASVAB score test, what numbers get you eligible for what. All right, so we're getting wiser in here, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting wiser in here, and we're not going to let them play us like this, and we're not going to let them play our other people like this as well. Here we go. Let me wrap this one up here. Let's see. This is still with the low recruits. Can't get
Health factors have always been a reason for the shrinking pool of recruits, but new factors are exacerbating the crisis.
You've now got legal marijuana in much of America, and that's not okay for the troops to have with it not being federally legalized.
The information age is also changing how recruits are screened.
Perhaps certain data and information that's available now to recruiters that wasn't available in the past can possibly skew or change attitudes towards a potential recruit.
Military Health System Genesis is a new computer system that connects a variety of healthcare record systems together, allowing a recruiter to see a candidate's health background during the recruiting process and determine if they are eligible to serve.
When they turned on electronic health record systems that made it so they could see the entirety of applicants' prescription histories and almost all of their medical records, whether they were seeing military or civilian doctors.
That's crazy.
If your medical records are in MyChart or one of those online health management portals.
See, real quick, and that's why you got to be cognizant. I know we have to read the terms and conditions. They are longer than, geez, almost a phone book. I can should date myself. But and they want you to what? Come on, let me back this up just a little bit here because I want to hear this.
Turned on electronic health record systems that made it so they could see the entirety of applicants' prescription history.
And listen, in entirety, if you even log onto this certain site, you've already gave up your information. And this is what I say too, and this is what it's coming to. You know, we talked about the barcode, and I'm not trying to be what they call it, conspiracy theorist, but no, look, with my ID card now, I can go to any airport in the United States, and I just show my ID card, and TSA has all my stuff in the system. Yeah, that's real talk.
Turned on electronic health record systems that made it so they could see the entirety of applicants' prescription histories and almost all of their medical records, whether they were seeing military or civilian doctors. Think if your medical records are in MyChart or one of those online health management portals, the Army can see those now if you're an applicant trying to join, because you sign a records release as part of that process.
I'd say you signed the records release, the terms and the conditions. Yeah, so well, we're out there anyway. You figure the last iPhone you have to use a thumbnail. Now the recent iPhone you have to, you can use a fingerprint for the last iPhone. This iPhone, all you have to do is have it look at your facial recognition. They already got your voice recognition. They got everywhere you go. So yeah, we're being tracked very clear. Seriously, here we go.
And so informal practices of coaching recruits to omit certain parts of their medical history to streamline their enlistment came to a screeching halt.
In a bureaucracy as large as this one, the Defense Department is the largest bureaucracy on the planet. And one as large as this one, I'm okay with informed individuals making specific choices on a case-by-case basis to sort of let in certain people when needed, even if it's a gray area of the rules. And this would certainly this could slow that down, that transparency.
I think that should be done from the beginning. But I would say this though. Let me see what Patty J got to say. My son-in-law does meteorologist for the Air Force, and I don't think he was good for that. But I would say this with this is, it should already be in there, because, okay, so we said this is how Mark Zuckerberg with Facebook got over. In order to get on there and pop, he was collecting metadata on us. Exactly, we rather say metadata. He was collecting it on us, and he was selling it. And this is why you can go shopping at Costco, and Costco, Google will know you've been there. Facebook will know you've been there. You'll start seeing through YouTube ads. If you shop at some things at Costco, check it out. Not lie to you not. I talked to my friend Patty J about cats, and I had a cat commercial on my. I don't have cats, right? Here we go. There you go.
I also would put it on the Army in particular to look at whether or not that should disqualify. If you had ADHD as a child, but no longer have ADHD, why should that be a disqualifying factor? If you had asthma as a young child, but don't have it now. So
And this one blows me away. Okay, so they're going all the way back into your childhood, right? All the way back into your childhood, digging up your medical information on your childhood. Look, on the DMV, I believe it's a 7-year or 10 years that stuff will get taken off from the DMV. I mean, it will show up on your record. But you can get that expunged or whatever. But you got a 7-year thing there. But these guys are going all the way back to if you had chicken pox as a child. That's crazy. I think it's none of your GO business, or your GD business, should I say. Here we go. Oh, tell me I didn't start this up. All right, here we go. We're almost at the end of this. Here we go.
Individuals making specific choices on a case-by-case basis to sort of let in certain people when needed, even if it's a gray area of the rules. And this would certainly this could slow that down, that transparency.
I also would put it on the Army in particular to look at whether or not that should disqualify. If you had ADHD as a child, but no longer have ADHD, why should that be a disqualifying factor?
And why should they have the information to that? If it should not be a disqualifying factor, they should not have information to that. You need to know my last 10 years. You don't need to know my last 25 years. But then they say the average recruiting age is between 19 and 20. I think 27 is the latest. I believe that's what it is. So, yeah, they're going to go digging a little bit, but I don't think they need to go back that far. So, here we go.
If you had asthma as a young child, but don't have it now. So I do think that there needs to be a complete reboot of the recruitment evaluation.
Now, the stakes are really real for some of these medical standards. And when it comes to other ones related to mental health, there's very real concerns about whether the military is the right environment for people who have previously shown symptoms of mental illness.
That's true too, but like I still say, privacy is what a thing that I'm concerned about. Some of this information I don't believe they need to be privy to. Okay. So, to go in there, because then what? If you're sitting with your buddies and they're next door to you, right next to you, then you're going to be jockeying, I got this guy here, I got this woman here who got this problem. Oh, I ain't going to take that person. Oh, no. No, it should be more stricter where, it's not a competition between you and your office. Are you trying to get numbers? All right. Because I tell you, as a drill instructor coming up into that place there and you're trying to get numbers, and I get a young kid who loses his life because of his health. Okay. Yeah. You need to know about heart conditions within the last 10 years. But yeah, I don't know.
But at the same time, if you can have 50% of your ranks filled with perfect soldiers from a medical perspective, or 100% of the ranks filled with, people who are either perfect in the eyes of the medical standards or otherwise are able to pull it together and do their job, you've got to go with the latter.
Yeah. It's
the COVID vaccine is one point of controversy that is not going away among the armed forces.
This was a unique scenario in terms of its timeline, development, and testing, as you know. And so that's where service members are pushing back.
But ultimately, policymakers and our military leadership have a responsibility to ensure we have a force that is ready to fight if needed. And this means a healthy force. So if at the time, policymakers thought a vaccine was required to keep the force healthy, then it should have been instituted. But as I said, things continuously change and have to be reevaluated.
Regardless of how you consider it as a health policy decision, the fact of the matter is that around a third of Americans between the ages of 18 and 40, so kind of that prime demographic that the military needs to reach, about a third of them aren't fully vaccinated, which means they're completely off the table from the start.
Okay, so I'm gonna get into this one here. I'm gonna let him finish here, but I will need your inputs on it. I'm bringing you guys up here in a second because I want, if you wanted something to say, let's talk about that. We're gonna chop it up, but let's get this one subject out of the way. One more, and
having the COVID vaccine is going to prevent you from getting COVID, but it's also going to prevent you from spreading it.
Exactly.
And the USS Teddy Roosevelt had over 600 cases, and one service member actually died. So I just don't think that argument carries a lot of weight.
Another component that is factoring into the Pentagon's subpar military recruitment is morale, and if there's even motivation to serve.
Now, Americans' faith and trust in all institutions are declining, from police to Supreme Court to church and organized religion. But the numbers show that for the U.S. military in particular, it's nothing short of a collapse. In the last 3 years, it's very.
All right. Let's get up off of that. Okay, so here we go. The question is, and I got this for you guys here. All right. Okay, so we are actually going to lose a lot of men and women because of, taking this vaccination. All right. We got some young women and young men who say, I don't want to take this vaccination. They're refusing to. I'll show you an article real quick here. Let me drag this over here and get you guys on this one here. All right, so here we go. Pick this out. This is over at themilitary.com as well. And here we go. Let's get you guys over here. There we go. All right, now if you see this at the top here, 7 unvaccinated candidates faces expulsion from the United States Coast Guard's Academy. Okay, they'll get into this. I don't think it's much to get into. I'm gonna give you my take on this, and then I want you guys to come up and get crazy on me here. This is my last topic. Well, not my last topic. Last one I want to discuss for tonight. I have several more, but we're just gonna kind of cap it off at there. Okay, so let's just hear this. Okay, we're gonna give this the benefit of the doubt. And Patty said it was too loud last time, so let me make sure I don't have you guys cranked up too much. Yeah, let's see. We don't cook that. So here we go. All right, let's get into it. Let me know if that's too loud, Patty. Yeah. Wow. Whoa. I got nowhere to go. Wasn't that officer and a gentleman when he got thrown out of there? All right, so this is a little bit. I just gave you guys a little bit of taste of this here, though. 7 Coast Guard candidates are ordered to off of campus and faces disenrollment. All right, so this is my deal on that. I said I couldn't hear it. Oh, I thought you said I was too loud. Okay, let me see here. All right, let me see if you can hear it now. Let me see. Wow. Wow. No. Hmm. Hmm. All right, so here we go with this. All right, this is where I rock with this. I will rock with this. What I mean by that is, I've taken my coronavirus shots, um, and I have to do it. I had to do it, and that's because I caught the virus when it came out. You guys remember Kirkland, Washington, at the senior homes? It broke out in Washington State. I live right next to there, and that was in Bellevue. Okay, so I caught it on March the 20th, and I was one of the first to catch it into the waves there. I spent 5 months, 5 weeks on quarantine, which was not cool. I had too much pressure in my eyes. I had body aches. I had the whole 9 yards and all that crap there. All right. Now, recently, I caught the SARS virus. How freaking lucky am I, right? So, my only thing is, I take these shots because I want to keep you and my family safe. Dig. If you're over my age, 51, you got diabetes, you are subject to get your blood taken off this planet quickly if you don't follow some kind of regimen. Now, I ain't telling everybody what to do, but look, when you go into the military, you dig, um, oh, you still couldn't hear that, Patty? Dude, I'm going to have to work on that, man. But when you go into the military, I had to take all kind of shots going in there because I'm living next to people who don't have my same hygiene regimen. All right, I'm going to be bunking with people, living with over a 50 to maybe 75 people in one bunk. That means I'm in one area. That means I'm using the restroom, the shower, everything. I'm using that with you. So, Dave, you're going to come in here and you're going to say, well, I'm not going to take that shot. Well, that should have been established before you came in. Now, I understand if you were already in and then it broke out, okay. But just, to me, I still don't think you have no ground. Look, you took all those shots before you came in, and now you turned it into a political thing, or is it what? Because if it's a health thing, there's too many people passed away. I know too many people who are close friends of mine who caught it. And my son and my brother-in-law, 2 of his friends passed away from it. I caught him on both occasions. My friends caught it on both occasions. And so, look, I don't go playing with their lives. If I have it, I'm keeping myself on lockdown. But if you're in the military, you following orders as long as it's constitutionally correct. And yeah, if you want to challenge it, you can challenge it. Now, my thing is this. You go and challenge that, you're really going to have to be towing some lines to keep your promotions moving. Because you're really upsetting some people. Hey, I know it's always not right, but that's just how the ball bounces, G. Okay, so the thing is, if you're not going to take it, please, get out, get out, get out. Because if you're going to get on one of the ships, had the COVID on one of the ships, and they didn't pay attention to that, and more people on the ship started going down. The captain of the ship got into the fray of things. And I think he was forced to relinquish his command because he was refusing to do these certain precautions to take care of his ship. or either he was, but either way, he got into it because, they were not looking after his people like he thought that they should, and he voiced his opinion on it, regardless what his chain of command said, and it pissed him off, and he ended up having to resign anyway because they can't have that particular structure in a spot if you're not following commands, okay? But dig, all right, let's talk about this. I wanted to show you guys this as well. And that is because my concern is this: with these brothers and sisters out here uh, uh, doing things to jeopardize their careers. Um, I'm curious about this. I'm like, how many people? Let me see. Is this the one I'm looking for? Let's see. Disclaimer. No, I want to get you guys one up here. And it was actually talking about the fact of how many people were actually discharged out of the military. How many in 1 year? You know, how many people overall have had a dishonorable discharge or who turned into felons? Now we're talking about felons as far as if you were at the Capitol and you were acting a fool and you end up getting charges put on you. How does that affect you? Okay, because that's my biggest question. You know, like, wait a minute, are we losing more people with this thing here? I got to do this one for Patty. This one for you, Patty J. And so this one I got to put up. Okay, so always, and I need to say this more often. You know, here it is. You can't heal the people you love. You can't make choices for them. You can't rescue them. You can't promise them that they will not journey alone. You will loan them your map, but this is their trip. Okay, so rock with that. Okay, and that is yes, I will loan you my map, but you know the trips that you take, you know the journeys are yours, and you have to be really on top of your game, and that's what we're here for. To have to be stay on top of your game, and to let me see. I want to make sure I'm getting the right stuff here. I want to show you guys this one thing that I picked up here. And let me see here. I don't think this is it. We will get it. But I want you guys to know this. Let me see. I think maybe I put it in the thumbnails because this is very interesting information. And that is, my question is when you go and catch a federal crime, a federal thing here, how that affects you. How does it affect your you as a civilian, you as just a veteran, right? All right, let me do this. I'm gonna drop this link here, and let me close this one off here. And if anybody wants to come on up and let's chop it up. We're gonna talk about anything that's on your mind that's conclusive to helping out each other. Let me see here. Do I got anybody in here? Patty J, I don't know if you're still here. But I'm gonna have to give you and Magnum somebody to wrench here so I can not have to think about this to moderator at you there. And here's some dude here. All right, let's add him on here. Oh, I think I already got you on there. No, I don't. All right, but here we go. Let me add this on here. So if anybody wants to come up, you can come up. And we're just chopping it up. I'm talking about I want to know if you come up and if you've been in the military, let us know what your page is. If you are in the military, what branch you serve. And we'll wrap it. We'll talk about it from there. But here we go. I'm going to drop this down real quick. But I'm going to talk about one more thing real quick before we get into it. And I just want to, geez, Louise, when you really want to find things, you can't really find them. But I wanted to show you this statistic that was talking about, here we go. I think I got it in here. It was talking about, I got to get closer here. I apologize. It was talking about more of the fact that how many people have actually had to deal with having to suffer a military a federal charge, and how many soldiers as of 2009, this is just military personnel, has suffered a federal charge. Let me see. Let's do this right here. So I'm going to show you this right here. Y'all rock with me. Here we go. Okay, so do you see this? Let me largen it up a little bit here. and hopefully you can see it. If not, let me make it a little larger for you here. I don't think that's going to work. But okay, here we go. I'll read it to you. The Department of Veterans Affairs estimates that there are more than 19 million Americans who are veterans. Over 10,000 veterans offenders were in the custody of the Federal Bureau of Prison at the end of 2019, according to most 6% of all BOP's inmates are as of 2020, as of October 28, 21. So if you dig this, we have, well, let's go, we got about 19 million, but we've got 10,000 veterans. Okay, so now think, we're talking about this. If you're going to refuse to take a vaccine or a vaccination from the military, I mean, it should have been established from the get-go when you came in. All right. Now, if you're going to still keep fighting against that, when you get in there, understand the consequences that you may incur. All right. Now, if you end up saying, I don't want to do this, I don't want, you're refusing a command. Okay, now you have to ask yourself, is it lawful? Okay, well, that's the next question you have to ask. Is it lawful? And you got to pick and choose your battles on that, on the real. Okay. If you're going to step out there and take that chance, this is what I say, especially for veterans when we're out here, disabled veterans, retired. I know, please believe me, I'm a mentally disabled veteran. And you have to stay on your regiment. You have to seek your medications, because getting caught up in your emotions can really kind of screw up a lot of stuff that you fought for. And they can erase a lot of things. And you talk about stress on you? Oh, good Lord. Let me take away, this is what they were talking about in this video I just played you. They were hot because of the fact that they just kicked them off and said, okay, you're done, you're out. Didn't offer no money, no nothing. You get dishonorable discharge, you're out on your own, right? You no money, no nothing. Kick them out to the curb, dog. That's what we go through as veterans, period. They treat us like that. And that's why I'm so glad that a lot of things have changed. So let me go into that real quick. All right. The reason why I'm happy that a lot of things have changed is because, let me see, I don't know if I have somebody up here. Okay, that's not up there. It's like this. When I first got out of the military, you didn't have access. You're right about that. It wouldn't be smart. It would be smart. Exactly. I mean, look. You go through all that training and stuff, and you go and get caught in your emotions, and next thing you know, you're on the Capitol steps breaking windows when you know it's not right. And now here you are, looking at prison, looking at, let us know what you think. Let me see, brother, join the last favorite click. Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. On point. So, yeah, please hit the like button. But yeah, it's look, I fight hard for people. This one veteran, or he claimed to be a veteran, I don't think he was, but I talked about this earlier. When you're dealing with a person who's claiming to be a disabled veteran, and they're out in front of a grocery store or whatever, panhandling, and they're saying this. I asked the disabled veteran these questions. I said, you're a disabled veteran? He goes, yeah. I said, well, what percentage are you? He says, that's why I kind of knew he wasn't, but we went along with it. He says 50, 60%. I said, well, dang. If you're at 50%, you should be already at the VA getting free medical help and your medications. I said, and if you're at 50%, you can apply for Section 8 for a veteran, which is the HUD badge. I said, you could get off the streets right now, because one thing the Veterans Administration does not want to hear is their veterans are on the streets, and they're working hard to get us off of the streets. And he says, well, I suffer from PTSD and this. And I said, well, yeah, I understand. I suffer from major depression myself. I said, but you have all these things to get a hold of. I need for you to look at those things. And I mean, to me, I'm giving you food to teach you how to fish. I'm not going to give you my couple of bucks, especially when I know you're not a disabled veteran. All right. And I'm going to offer you the information how to get you off the street. It's going to be on you to get yourself off the street. All right. And as grown men and women, and if you're in the military, you had to be in charge of at least one person, and that was you. And you made sure that you were on time to all your formations, all your musters, you were there. So if you were there, when you get out of the military, your job ain't done. You have a family to fight for. And if you're out there and you're by yourself, okay, we got to get you away from any people who are out there selling drugs. We got to get you rid of place. There are food pantries all over where in King County. And I said, I pointed 3 or 4 out to them. Yeah, you can go there and get it. Now, I understand, dig. If you want your beer and you want your wine, or if you want to smoke your joint, okay, cool in the game. But if you're at 50%, you're getting some chatter coming in, and I'm not paying for that for you. Okay? I dig it. I mean, I come home, I want to have my beer and chill out too. But the thing is, you have to prioritize your mission. Okay? We all out here trying to do what we need to do. But if you ain't out here trying to take care of yourself, come on now. Here we are in the new social media age. We are trying to get you information without you having to go a lifetime without being informed. You can log on, you can get information. The DAV, the Veteran Foreign of War. They got other organizations out there that you can get free information from. And as a matter of fact, at some DAVs and some Veteran Foreign of War, you can go there and get a little quick meal. And if they have showers and you prove you are a veteran or whatever, they will get you in the shower and we'll try to help get you off the street. All right. So I'm telling you, I was a homeless veteran. So when I rap to you about it, I'm coming to you 100. Okay. And because I don't want to see people going through what I've been through. People were not informing me. Okay. Or maybe they were and I wasn't listening, but I learned. And I don't say I know everything. I promise you, I do not know everything. I usually give my prelude here. I'm not a lawyer. I don't work for a lawyer. I'm not working for the VA in no shape, form, or fashion. I am a lifetime member of the DAV, but I'm not representing them as we speak now. I'm representing my situation and showing you some things that I think that you should be cognizant of or aware of, especially with the PACT Act and the burn pits. I seriously want you guys to be focused. If you experience any of those things, start getting it. And I want you to stay focused on this too, as we talked about this. And as we were talking about, let me see, I'm going to see if I can pull this thing back up here. And that is when we're talking about the burn pits, notice I pointed out a lot of interesting things that were said. When we started off saying with the burn pits was, I think I took it off. I need my behind whip for that one. So sorry, guys. But when we started talking about that, we were talking about qualified veterans. Okay, so now we have to look at what qualifications are. And they said 23 more symptoms have been added to this. Okay, now dig. Every year or every other year, there are some symptoms that are added to the VA list, which are considered service-connected issues. We don't know about this because we're not privy. Well, we are privy to it. Just look it up and just type it in. New conditions added to the VA or the disability veterans, and then Google that and see what you come up with and start looking at that. Do your homework. And your homework really is knowing your body and knowing yourself. What is it, 208 bones or 206 bones in the body? What is it? And that's the thing is, I say that because a lot of us don't even know how many bones are in the body, let alone what our symptoms are that we are experiencing. If you are going to sleep at night and you keep finding yourself catching your breath while you're almost falling asleep, you may have sleep apnea issues. So you need to look into that. This may go along with your asthma, all the other. And look at these things because they're not going to let us cakewalk through there, boys and girls. You know they're not going to do that for us. They're going to make us earn our keep. And they're going to make us go through this. Like the first Magnum and myself, we are still looking at, I'm still looking at appeal. All right. And so these are the things you have to, be cognizant of. Okay. So now I mentioned one thing about, doing things that are ruling our life. God. All right, I'm going to show you guys this, but I'm going to be brief with this because I don't want to get monetized for showing you this just a little bit, and I'm not going to let it auto play on you because the fact is that they're mentioning come on, get over here. They are mentioning sexual assault. All right. So I can't say it again, so I'll just say essay, and I'll leave it at that. And we're going to show this one here, and I'm going to actually show it to you briefly, but check this out. And this is what I say screwing up your career. All right. Now you see that at the top. All right. So let me roll up a little bit because I don't want to keep showing that. Okay. Former Army chaplain accused of sexual abusing inmates for 7 years in a prison. A chaplain in the military. Okay, now dig. Okay, now I'm gonna say this, and this is why I'm gonna say kind of like he's finally getting cracked down. He finally got caught, which he should have been caught a long time ago. But now we're gonna say this is because there was, and probably is, but it's getting ready to go away quickly, and that is a lot of military superiors performing or doing SA against a lot of soldiers, females in particularly, and some of them have been deleting themselves and taking themselves off the planet because of this crap, like this sorry sack of crap here, who claims he's a chaplain. There's going to be a special place for you, my brother. All right. Okay. So let's get back with it. So with this clown here, over 7 years, he has been behind closed doors, coming up on inmates and doing essay against them. Okay, and this has been other men. You dig? Other men and women. You feel me? All right. So he pled guilty to the assault, abusing inmates in the federal prison of women. He was abusing these women in the federal prison. Okay. All right. Now, this is another clown. Like I say, you're going to go and put your military career and everything else. Not only is he going to go to prison, a federal prison, when he gets out, all of his military stuff, he's gone. He can forget about it. He's out of there. And it's well deserved. A knucklehead like this dude here, let's see how he does in federal prison. He needs to go to not federal prison, but regular prison. You know, like Wayside, or no, like what is it over there in New York? One of the baddest prison over there in New York. They're like, yo, man, you go there. Rikers, there he needs to go to Rikers and settle his issues out. And maybe he might be a girl when he get over to Rikers. Okay, but this is why it's going to change. Okay, I need you guys to be aware of this. It's because now they are petitioning for this, and I think it's already passed or it's going through Congress, that the military superiors will no longer be in charge of judging these cases or having any kind of rulings over these cases. These cases now are going to end up going to an independent committee or judges who will reside over that. So it's taking it out of the hands of your superiors who you may have good friendships with, good relationships with. So when you do something, they try to sweep it under the rug. These days are hopefully coming to a quick halt, and because it's causing too much sadness and negative, and motivation is getting killed behind that. It's because you have a lot of young soldiers, young military personnel who are deleting themselves. And another place you should look at too, if you're on the USS, I think it's USS Washington, keep your eyes on that vessel there, because they've been having a lot of people taking themselves off of the planet because of, I believe, hazing and no proper judgment or proper check and balance system that keeps that hazing away from them. Okay, those days are over. Hazing should not be a thing. It should be called a ritual. We do things as a gentleman and as ladies, and we try to elevate ourselves up. And hazing, I grew up with it. I've been through it. I got it. But it's not something that I recommend, honestly. But clowns like this will be no longer a part of our society playing like that. Him and your Jared from the subway, they can hopefully be both cellmates and enjoy each other's love. A bunch of bums. And I'm being polite about that because my thing is messing with people because you have authority over them. I never did that as a DI. My thing was a DI was, yeah, you're going to get smoked. Believe that. But I'm not going to smoke you just because. I'm going to smoke you if you're not following what needs to be followed to keep you on point. If you're not understanding that, we're going to get to a conversation and have this conversation. And we're going to get it to you because my time is short, and I have over 60 inmates, 60 inmates. I have over 60 soldiers that I have to attend to, and I can't spend it all on there. Okay, I'm gonna show you this other one, and this is why. And I don't know. Yeah, this is why. This is what I say. This is why this is going to be addressed. And I'm going to show you this here, but we're going to also kind of graze over it here. Okay, at the top of this, right above it says SA assault on female troops reaches its highest level in a decade. You feel me? All right, and this was on September 1st. Okay, so now we're talking about this, and I'm just going to kind of cruise through this. I'm not going to read it all because the percentage of women in the military who were SS in 1921 sprinkled its highest spiked its highest level since the Defense Department started tracking the statistics more than a decade ago, according to the new data released on Thursday. About 8.4% female troops and 1.5 male troops said that they were assaulted on duty during the past calendar year. Okay, yeah, this goes on, and it goes on both sides of the fence. So, be cognizant of this, okay? But like I said, and I have another article that, let me see if it gets into this here. The article is talking about the fact that the adjustment, however, the data is gathered appears to confirm if the survivors account. Okay, we want to talk about to the point where they're talking about that the Army, Navy, and Marines across the board increased to nearly 1.3%. Okay, I wanted to get you guys to the point because there's another article that stated that they are working to take this out of the hands of the military. And it's going to be brought to a committee to work those things out and get those things taken care of because it is a problem. And it goes along with, it goes on for years. And that's because a lot of people have figured they're in situations of high demand. When they started being in here, it goes across the Hollywood, music industry, every industry you talk about. And sadly to say, even in the religious parish of the Catholics, and even now you can see the Army. All right. I'm having people of the cloth doing these crazy stuff to you, and that's weak to the flesh. We all have these issues. The Lord said, no man's without sin. I'm not trying to preach to you, but I'm saying this. If you're a young lady or you know a young lady who's going into the military, okay, make sure that they're going to be taken care of and they're safe. All right. That's going to be your job. They're going to have to call you and talk to you and get this stuff taken care of because this is not going to continue to happen. Believe that. All right. Now let's talk about this real quick. All right. And this is what concerns each and every one of you. And this is number one on your plate. And that is the veteran disability compensation. All right. We're talking about money, kiddos here. We're talking about money. Veterans who served and service-related disabilities and other other than dishonorable discharge can qualify for a monthly tax-free VA disability compensation benefits, which range from $133 to $3,400 a month. Okay, $3,400 a month being 100%, and $133 is being at 10%. Okay, service connected for limbs, loss of limbs. Okay, if you have spouses or dependents, that's what we're going to talk about too. If you have spouses and you have your children who are your dependents, You can look, I want you to go to va.gov and look at your percentage and look at what it will say you will get for your spouses, for your spouse and your children. Okay. Now, you look in there and you have to be 30% or above, and it'll start telling you what for the children. Okay. But look in there. And if you're not even at 30 and you're like my man here, keep fighting. You're going to get there, because one thing is, understand this too. If you have an irreversible injury, you will be getting paid, all right, for the rest of your life. And then look at if it keeps getting worse, does it increase or it's your maximum for that? This is what I say, knowing your body, knowing your disability, because we say this too all the time. When you go and file a claim, you can take the risk of getting yourself reduced in other aspects of your claim, because you will do a C&P, claims and pension exam. And if they find that, wow, he filed for this, but right now the stuff that he's currently going through is getting better, then they will go and try to take it away from you. All right. Now, if it's only staying still at a certain percentage, after a while, when you get older, like myself, other stuff is going to kick in. That's going to kick in early. Like I got neuropathy, arthritis is going to kick in early, so I got to be ready for that. Okay, but this is what I want you to be aware of. When you file your claims, make sure, like I tell people, I don't go poking the bear, but I have to go and fight for other things, like your special monthly compensation ratings, especially for your brothers and sisters who got messed up with this PACT Act, the burn pits. I want you to check yourself and make sure you're seeing if you are getting worse. And as you get older, some of your stuff will accelerate some of your age period. So arthritis is going to be on me faster than anything else too. I'm losing it in my hands, in my elbows, and my arms, and as well. All right. Now, since I didn't file for my hands or my elbows, they're not. When I didn't file for it way back when, they're going to say it's not service connected. But since I filed for my feet, both my feet way back in, service connected, boom. All right, here we go. All right, let's get to this. Okay, the fastest service you should apply online. Yeah, you go to VA the va.gov website if you have not filed. But I would say this: get with your representative, unless you really got a CFR, Chapter 38. You really don't want to play with that. Find some people who that's their job. They do that. The DAV. Veteran Foreign Rewards. There's other people that are out there. I don't recommend lawyers, but I would say if that's your preference, you have to do what you got to do. Get an attorney. The reason why I don't say get an attorney because there's too many people out there for free that can help you get the same service. Okay, but that's up to you. If you got an attorney that's quick, fast, in a hurry, and he'll take care of you, that's probably where you want to go. Okay, so we go to file for benefits support or copies. Okay, we go. You should submit supporting documents for claims benefits. You should submit VA copies of medical evidence, both service and civilian service, as your nexus letter for that. Your discharge paperwork and anything else you may think is necessary. Remember, you can't never provide the VA with too much information, and this is true. So this is basic stuff we talk about, especially when you're talking about filing a claim. This is basic stuff you should already be knowing, okay? And look at that. What does it say? Let's get this again. It says you should send copies of your medical evidence, VA copies of your medical evidence, and whether it's military and civilian. If you have a civilian doctor that you really trust more than going to the VA, I understand. And get out of here. I missed you so much. Sir Health Speaks is in the house, and I missed you, my brother. I so apologize. Running my mouth over here. Sir Health Speaks in the house. Good man. Beautiful chat. If you ever get a chance to catch up with the brother, he's professional over on his chat. He throws down really well. And he keeps it professional on his chat. He has always some good topics, and the brother's on point. And I would tell you, as an old guy, this young brother's got it going on. And if you really want to learn how to set your studio up too as well, check out my man's setup. Looking cool in the game. That's my man, Sir Health Speaks. Appreciate you, brother. Okay, so when we're talking about you guys getting this money or this money here together, notice what they said. And they talk about this a lot. Now you remember we talked about this when we talked about the PACT Act, the same thing. Remember we said the PACT Act, the first thing they said, qualified disabled veterans. Okay, now we talk about what qualifies here, how to apply for your disability compensation. Go to va.gov. If you haven't already been there, you need to get there, get your stuff in there. And then here it says this, and this is what I don't recommend, but it's your thing. Okay, remember, I'm not preaching. I'm only trying to teach. Okay, and I don't know everything. Okay, you should submit supporting documents with your claim and benefits. You should send a copy, the VA copies of your medical records, both military and civilian, your discharge paperwork, and anything else that you may think is necessary. Remember, you can never provide the VA with too much information. Okay, well, you need to provide them with the right information. Too much information can be too much information. But anything that's in your medical records, especially with the VA, you'll be getting asked to sign that a paper to allow them to have access to that. Now, this is one thing I say. I don't dig right here. It says you should send a copy of your medical records to the VA. No, you should have a representative do that for you. You should have a representative sending all those copies. Representative is like an attorney. If they need to send paperwork, they need to send it to your representative, and your representative sends you, or they send you and your representative the paperwork. You don't send all this paperwork because, Dick, this is what I'm saying, and I could be wrong, but this is what I'm saying. They say you can never send them too much information. Well, say one time you started feeling better and you told the doctor, I'm feeling great. They might want to go back and remember what I said. They're like the police. This is what you said here. So you're feeling great when you were taking this medications. Well, you're feeling great. Nothing's changed. So we don't need to have this conversation. So get out of here. Request denied. Right? So you need to write to your representative and ask your representative, okay, hey, what's the case? Do I have a case? They're going to let you know if you got a case. They're going to let you know what you need to do. Okay. But like we said, look, this has been said over and over again. You should send a copy of your medical records. Well, we said medical records, whether they're both civilian or military, and your discharge paperwork. Oh yeah, they're going to want your DD-214 because look, DD-214 is going to say your discharge, and remember, right next to that discharge where it says honorable, dishonorable, or whatever, look right next to that separation code. I think the separation code, it might change the name, but it's line 26, I believe it is. And look up what that separation code does. It says as well. Because if you got out without a vaccination, or you got out because you didn't want to get the vaccination or whatever, and if they said less than honorable discharge, but not dishonorable discharge, you want to find out what that honorable discharge, what that means and what that code means. Okay, I keep beating on that. Okay, but I'm gonna let you guys rock with that. Okay, discharge paperwork, everything. Certain circumstances you can apply for benefits before being discharged from the military. Now, this is true. Okay, now if you are in the military and you've already got some disabilities popping off, and you can be filing for it before you get out of the military. So while you're exiting out of the military, you will get an exiting physical. And an exiting physical will be more fuel to the fire to get you moving on here. All right, now check this out. Now you see right here, I talked about this before. Let me get over here. I'm gonna move it up here and get some of this out of here. Okay, we talked about SMCs. SMCs. Okay, you see that special monthly compensation rating. So Rodney, I don't know if I was talking to you, Rodney, that you had the burn pit situation and you're already at 90. But whoever the brother was that told me he was at 90. I don't know if it was Rodney or not. This is one thing you might want to look at: special monthly compensation rating. Okay, disability compensation. The normal limits for a veteran who suffered from loss or losses of use of certain organs or extremities. All right. So loss of use of certain organ extremities, you got a amputation or something to that effect. Okay, so now remember. Okay, let me scroll up here. I think what we talked about. I want to show you this. Okay, remember right here. Let me see if I can enlarge this page here for you guys. I think it's working. Okay, no, it's okay. Let me do it over here. Remember right here, we talked about this right here. This is, we said, your compensation rating is from $133 to over, now Dick is hurting, to over $3,400 a month. Now, Dick, If you are at 100%, you will be getting $3,400 a month. Now here, now check it out, to over $3,400 a month. And you know what that means? To over, that means here, special monthly compensation. Additional compensation, additional, okay, we talked about that for detail C, SMCs, overview page. Let's click on it. Let's see what we get. All right, special monthly compensation page. All right, we're not going to go through it. Let me listen. I don't want to play it for you because I think I keep having trouble with hearing it. Special monthly compensation is a tax-free benefit paid in additional to the regular VA compensation to the veteran who has resulted in military service, suffering from loss or losses of specific organs or extremities. Okay. Now, when you go on the special monthly compensations, loss of immobile joints. Look at all this. I want you to read this. Loss of sight, loss of what it says, loss or losses of use of reproductive organs. So this means too, if you have suffered to the point to where it has left you impotent or where you cannot have an erection, you should be looking into that as well when talking to your doctor. And that's very real because if you're taking a lot of medications, and if you got cancer because of these burn pits and you're going through chemo, this could affect you. Okay, so there's something you need to worry about. There's something you need not to worry about. Be aware of. Okay, complete loss of use of both. What does that say? Of use of both buttocks. I think you got your ass whipped in on you. That's interesting. Didn't know none of that. Okay, okay. Deafness in both ears. Now remember this too. If you guys who are out there, tankers, who are Army, and you were out there with those tanks, even if you're on some of these ships out there, or even if you are working on a flight line, you can be mess around and lose some of your hearing. So be cognizant of that too. Okay, loss of percentage of tissue, single breast or both breasts. Now, these things can come if you're having this, what do you call it? The burn pits. If you're having those, it can bring you to where you can be suffering from radiation from doing your chemo. Okay. SMCs can also pay for combat combination of disabilities. And that's what a combination, if you have a combination of 100, and then you have a combination of a 60, you can get a SMC probably. Look into that. The VA will pay the highest rate combination for disabilities, such as loss of use of both feet. Well, I just told you I got that going on. Legs, hands, arms, based on particular combat combination of disabilities. So what we say is 100% for my disability, for my major depression, and I got 60 for both feet. And so they're trying to fight to get that away from me. So that's another fight that I'm fighting for the SMCs, okay? Now, I'm not going to go through all this because I'm going to get out of here in a second. But I wanted to give you guys this information, and I wanted you to keep fighting. And this is why I say fight, because if any of this information that I have talked to you about and you have never known about that, I hope it gives you something to think about, and because I want you doing good for yourself. Now, we talked about the money, and I talked to you about the money, but I always say this: your health is more important than the money. I want me to be taken care of, and if I'm entitled for the money, then I need the money to also help me take care of my life. Because if you're 100% and you are in a situation to where you can't work, you got paperwork out the yin yang, you're going to have to see about a Social Security disability insurance claim. All right. If you are less than 100%, but you are 100% PTIU and you're only getting paid 80, even if you're paying 50%, but you're PTIU, you're going to get 100% as far as the money comes. But you're looking at getting yourself taken care of, and that is your mental health and your physical health. Your family needs you here, all right? And then you're not here, your family, you need to know your family's being taken care of, all right? And what you experience through the VA is promising you that they will take care of your family if you're qualified, and that's what you need to know, okay? And you need to be aware of that. So as we look through these here now, we're talking about some of these symptoms here, and this is just for special monthly compensation ratings. So Check it out. And I want you to look at, and that's one thing they said in here, which is very important too. You have to look at a combined rating as well. All right. A combined rating, if you have 100% here and you got 60% on another one, that can get you look at as far as an SMC. And that's more money. And that can be an extra $300 or $400 a month. Now, dig this. I don't know if I didn't cover all this, so we're going to go down here. Additionally, we talked about the SMCs. We want to go back out of the SMCs. I want to take you back to my other page here. And what I want to bring you to, let me get this page exact right. Okay, so let me see. Service-connected veterans with a 30% or higher disability rating. Okay, and this is like travel investment as well. And this is why I tell you about this. I was telling another veteran here, if you are a veteran and you don't have a card and you're in your particular area, go to a workforce center and talk to them about getting you a transportation card where you can catch the transportation for free. All right. Now, dig this, and this is what I said this to here. You can get paid travel reimbursement to certain veterans who have to travel for medical appointments. Reimbursement for mileage and public transportation can be paid too. Okay, now this is what it says. You have to be a service-connected disability of 30% or higher, okay, to actually get this. And this is where actually a lot of the stuff comes in. Once you start getting past 30%, then you'll start picking up a little bit more traction. And I want you guys to stay strong if you're not even at 30% here. Now, you can see what the reimbursement for the mileage and how much they pay you. And this is why I say you can get a bus card, and most of them will try to give you a bus card instead of you happen to keep time to file for your reimbursement. Now, if you are disabled and you don't have a vehicle and you're staying in a spot, whether it's HUD Fash or whether it's a shelter or not, let me see, what was I going to tell you? Yeah, you can get the card, or you can get the card will pay for it, or you can see about getting transferred from the VA facility. And I want you to check through that with the work resource, or if you're at the VA and at the travel part of the VA, ask them about that. And also you can go online. My girl Vanessa Kitty has that stuff down packed, and I'm sorry she's not here. That's my wing woman. But yeah, so good. This is what we talk about. And I talked to you guys about all this. First I talked about is your health. That's number one, and that's important. I will tell you this. Since I suffer the way I suffer, I have to mandatory make sure I take my medication so I can get sleep, so I can function. Because if I don't have sleep, I can't function so well. Okay, so then what we talk about here is not only your health, now let's talk about your money. All right. So now we talked about what you can get paid for the start of this here and what's your maximum. So 34. And actually this October is supposed to increase again. So you guys look at that and go into va.gov. Just look at a few other people out there and do your research, but there's supposed to be an increase on what your money is supposed to come in, okay? And if you are seriously having medical issues that you cannot function, you might, as you get, if you're seriously mentally issue, you cannot function, you might be at 20, 30% PTIU, which is total permanent individual unemployable. Now, we talked about this. If you're going to go file for PTIU and get it, you can't play with that. Be real, because when we get there, you're going to be very limited in what you can do as far as work. Now, if you're at PT and permanent, total permanent, you can still go out and get a job, okay, and do your thing. But you're going to be limited, so you guys watch out for that, okay? And understand what that's about and understand how to do it. Oh, here we go. I got a thing over here. Okay, but I want you guys to pay for this. Veterans can get more time into pay back debts. Okay. Now another thing, real quick, and I'm going to leave this alone. We're going to get out of here. Okay. We were talking about. I mentioned this before, and I was talking to people about student loans, student debts, and actually, you guys be careful out there, because a lot of people are not happy about that because they are not qualified to get all those student loan debts and to get them paid off. And before I get out, I got you guys here. I want to do this one more time, and I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much for being here. And kicking it with the Seattle Black Veteran. The Seattle Black. The SBV, as far as my boy the Bacon says, and my Billy African Dreamer. Nothing but love. Appreciate you guys. Okay, so one more thing, and we're going to talk about this, and we're going to let it go. Money. Your money. All right? And being aware of your money. All right? And this is what we're going to say. Rent increases going up. If you have a chance for it. Now, I don't advocate you being dependent off the system. I advocate you utilizing the system that can get you back on your feet, and then until you can fly your own flight, do your own thing solo. Okay, but here it is. Okay, veteran. I don't care if you have no percentage at all. Go to the VA hospital, get you a VHIC, a Veteran Hospital Identification Card. Go shopping on post. We talk about this all the time. Do a portal. I just bought a camera that I got to learn how to use. It was $100. Got it for $60. No tax-free shipping. Okay. And shopping with the exchange. If you live close to the post, go to the commissary, get your small stuff. And me, I go to Costco. I'm a bachelor. I go to Costco and get my bulk stuff, paper towels. I'm gonna have to get toilet paper for at least another year now. And so those things right there. Thank you, brother. Please hit me with the email. I'm gonna hit you with hit you on your email. I appreciate it. Yeah, do that, my brother. Anything I can, if you guys have something to bring to the table, please bring it. Because I get more fuel really because I'm talking with you guys. But at the same time as well, I'm going to keep digging and get information for you just so you guys can be on top of your game here. Okay, but again, get over there and start shopping at the PX, the exchange. You can shop at the exchange online. Go and prove that you are a veteran or you are active duty, whatever. Shop online, free shipping, and you get no taxes on your items there. If you got gas stations on post, you know what time it is. And I would say, don't wait until the 1st or the 15th to go get that gas because you know it's going to be knee-deep long out there. Try to schedule it, a week before that if you can, and just top off, and you'll be good to go. Right on. So we'll get you going on that. And also, this is what. Okay, so you got Veterans Day. It's going to be coming up here soon. You guys make sure you stay on top of your eats, or where you can go and get your free eats from. I just like I say, get them if you can get them. I think the best one I went to a long time ago was Wingstop, because you know what you're gonna get, some wings, but yeah, stay on top of that, and you can probably go 3 or 4 meals a day, whatever, for that day. Go get your grub on and take full advantage. Because I want you guys out there because right now it's not gonna get no easier out there. What? I went to go to the gas pump, $70, $80 almost to fill up my gas tank. And then going out to eat, oh my God. And then, if you throw in a tip with that, you're getting off almost $70, $60, $70 just to go out to eat. And that's for one person. So, be more cognizant of that. And, I would say your food's healthier when you make it at home. And I know sometimes it's hot as Hades in your place. And you don't feel like cooking because you don't feel like no more heat. I feel you. So ration it out. Stay on top of your game with that. Okay, so real quick, we covered the burn pits. And I just want you guys to pay attention to the consistency, even with the burn pits. We talked about you getting your money as far as the benefits, and when you're getting your money, the qualifications for you to get there. And I'm only suggesting, not only, but one of my only best suggestions is know your disabilities, all right? So you can know when you talk to your doctors what you're talking about, all right? Okay, my loved ones, my friends, my YouTube, my fam, I have nothing but love for you guys, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And always, I wish you nothing but the best, mind, body, and soul. I wish you nothing but balance in that, free from anger, free from hate, and love. And know that Seattle Black Veteran is going to do everything he can to stay here with you and keep up the fight. All right? So stay strong, and we got more information, and I think I might go do one tomorrow. And throw some more stuff out. I'm just going to try to do every day. I want you guys to, if you feel like it, come up and we chop it up and we get in here. I missed my shift in with Sawyer. I thank each and every one of you guys for showing up. I want you guys to do me one favor. When you go in the bathroom or you go in and look in that mirror, tell that person you love them. All right? You are important too. Love each and every one of you. I wish you guys nothing but the best. Stay strong, stay healthy, and understand we're in this together. I am the Seattle Black Veteran, and I am out of here. God bless each and every one of you. Oh, hold up. Before I go, I got to give shouts out to each and everybody that's here. TLA, my man, number one. I haven't been on Suzette Speaks in a while. OG Patrice, Rashad Denise, Patty J, Sir Health Speaks, First Magnum, the goddamn bacon. I know the Free Farmer Finance. Love you, brother. I know I'm missing a lot of you guys, but I just want to say to each and every one of you, everybody who's in the chat, everybody who's on my subs, everybody who comes by and just drop by and say what's up to the Seattle Black Veteran, the Seattle Black. I appreciate you for that African dreaming. All right, love you guys. I am out of here. One love.